KG3.
LA5. So, news to start off the day. I am 8 days into the carnivore diet.
Interesting.
Yes, decided to give this a try. Been seeing it a lot, doing some research, and I've been on set recently, and there's been some people giving it a try that have shared their experience. I talked with someone who is 6 months into it, and he said he lost all his visceral fat, and he is no longer mentally brain fogged and just feels really good. There was a woman who's now 2 years on it who says that it's life changing for her. And personally, I didn't have any health reason to go on it, but I had a desire to try it because I like meat. I enjoy my steaks, I enjoy my beef, And I'll tell you, the hardest part thus far has just been the odd time seeing other types of food and denying myself, which is also pleasurable in a way. I went to 2 movies this weekend, and in both times, you know me, I love my popcorn. I would have had buckets of popcorn with me. Even when someone beside me got popcorn, I didn't have any. No popcorn. Both times. Yeah. It's been quite the journey that way. I liked this, though. I went to the keg. I got a steak, and it usually comes with like starches and carbs for a side, vegetables and potato, right? So I said to them, can I exchange this for bacon? And they did. So I had a steak and bacon, and they gave me a mountain of bacon. It was amazing.
Mountain.
It was actually so refreshing to see. So needless to say, 8 days in, I've gone through a few different altercations with my body where I'm like, ooh, is this my body saying this is no good, or is it just maybe sugar cravings leaving me? But needless to say, here at day 8, it feels good, and I didn't realize how much my body was bloated because the bloat's gone. So it's interesting. It's interesting so far.
Interesting. So what have you found with your research? Because the first thing that comes to mind is inflammation of the digestive system because it's so hard to digest and it's constantly digesting it. Is there any digestive issues that seem to come along, or is the longevity of the body nourished in every single way?
Thus far, I would say like when I first started, I will say I felt a little backed up. But once that went through, like that first initial backup went through, I don't think I've ever had such healthy, solid movements. Like it's not to get graphic with it, but like there's no wiping needed, which is amazing. That's the thing that gets me the most. Is like I'm just like, okay. Yeah, it's been pretty good that way, and my energy levels feel different. And yeah, just like I said, the bloating part was massive. I didn't realize how much that was happening. And whenever I feel a craving towards something, I find I am, instead of going and snacking on something, I am drinking water, and it gets subsided for up to like 2 hours, which makes me very curious on how much I was dehydrated a lot, and I'm eating to subside the dehydration.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, weight-wise, I haven't found much of a difference thus far. However, I'm only 8 days in, so like the body is still. This is why I said to myself, I'm just gonna try for 30 days just to see what the whole like fuss is about, because I've been researching it, and it is interesting how everyone who is on the diet obviously raves about it, and anyone who is a vegan or is a nutritionist or just modern day science where it's like, oh no, we need our fruits and plant-based diets, are very against the carnivore diet. But anyone who has actually gone on it seems to rave about it. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to take into account what both sides say, because this is the thing. Like, I love fruit. I love fruit and I love vegetables. Like, they're both delicious, and I believe they both have nutritional value, of course. But I'm curious on this carnivore diet. And personally, I feel after 30 days, all depending on the results of how I feel internally, mentally, everything, I will go from there on how much I want to integrate things back into my diet. The one thing that I feel already, though, that I want to lay off of a bit more, and I was wanting to do this regardless of my diet style, was just breads. I eat a lot of breads. Like I would be, and that's because it's delicious. It's so good. but it just it goes through very slowly, we'll say.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's been interesting.
And you said that it decreases your cravings for sugars and whatnot, and popcorn and treats and processed foods.
I just realized I hadn't turned this on yet, so that whole first part probably is going to echo, but that's okay. We're now good. But yeah, no, my cravings for sugar has massively decreased right now.
Oh,
The,
that alone is like a pretty massive benefit.
I think so. The first few days, oh, I had the sugar fix craving so bad. I
Ah,
want,
you had to push through.
I did. It has been, and even now I feel a push through, but it's not of sugar. It's just of seeing foods and being like, it looks good. But there's a different switch I feel that has gone on where the switch for me right now is it's not me wanting um, the food in my body, it's the flavor. It's the
Mm.
experience of the flavor. Like I went to IHOP, and ironically, I'm trying to do the carnivore diet as much to what they say as I can. And technically, I shouldn't have gone to IHOP because even though I got just eggs and meat, because I'm doing the version where meat and animal byproducts. So like I can have yogurt, I can have cheese, I can have eggs, right? Because and I feel like it's like I want to see what I can do with that and then maybe remove it after. But first, I didn't want to limit myself too much. I wanted to be able to
Hmm.
still be able to do certain things. I like omelets. I can still do omelets now, etc. However, I found out because when I went to the keg, I asked, "How do you cook your steaks?" And they say they use butter, so it's perfect. Butter is byproduct. Don't have to worry. It wasn't until after I had my meal at IHOP that I was like, "Oh, I forgot to ask. Hey, what do you use?" And they're like, "Oh, we use canola oil." And just so technically, that is counterproductive towards the diet because it's a seed oil. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and so I was like, "Well, you know what? It's like it's a learning curve. I'm not gonna like I'm just holding myself accountable to as much as I can." But thus far,
Right.
it's been pretty good holding off on certain foods.
You know what I like about it the most? Just the fact that you have a clear goal and you have already the willpower and the discipline to adhere to it. Because when you do that, that alone is going to bring results. And the
Yeah,
fact that you were able to push through all those different sugar cravings and the bread cravings, I feel like that alone is going to level you up.
yeah, it feels good because I love sugar and I love my breads.
Mm.
Like who doesn't, right? Like it's just we all enjoy foods. That's
I just
one of
slammed 3 tablespoons of maple syrup.
it's excellent. And, and there are certain carnivore enthusiasts who say that things like so apparently for whatever reason there are some carnivores that say cashews are okay, peanuts aren't, but cashews are okay because of their composition. Again, I feel like that's people justifying cashew. There are people that say coffee and teas are okay, even though that's plant byproducts. And that's another one that I am still doing. I love my coffee. I have my morning coffee. I'm going to have my morning coffee. There was a, but honey. They didn't say anything. I haven't looked into anything about syrup, but honey apparently is also okay. And I love honey. I haven't done any honey thus far, but I could see myself putting that back in at some point. However, I am enjoying just staying away from all sugars right now. I want to see what
Mm.
happens when you just get because when I reintegrate sugar into my life, because I will, I want to be able to control my craving for it. You know, I want to take such small amounts. Like even with honey, I want to like have maybe like half a teaspoon, take a taste, see how that makes my body feel. Instead of like just guzzling it down or putting it like all in tea and stuff, right? Just to
Hmm.
see like it's like when you control the amount, let's see how much of an amount is going to affect. I'm excited to see stuff like
Mm.
that. So that's another reason
You
why I'm doing
scientist.
this. Monocle. Scientists don't wear
I like it.
monocles.
No, I love that. No, I love doing little things like this too and then seeing the results. I mean, I did something similar, but with a vegetarian diet.
Oh, very cool.
And it started because of a relationship. The girl I was dating,
Mm-hmm.
she was pretty adamant with being a vegetarian. And I've never been a huge fan of meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured I could cut out of my diet. The only reason I think I need meat is to have good muscle volume and recover from workouts better.
Sure.
So let's test the theory. Let's see if it's actually true. Maybe it's not. Maybe my creatine supplementation is enough. And for the first 4 years, I thought maybe that was the case, but there was this weird time where I was playing golf and I reactivated an old injury of tennis elbow on my right arm.
Mm.
And I thought, here we go again. It's going to take a good month to get rid of this thing. It took over a year
Ouch.
of
Ouch.
not even aggravating it. It just wouldn't go away for whatever reason. Like, this is crazy. And then my brother-in-law, who runs a meat shop, a butcher shop, he's like, you got to eat meat. I'm like, well, you might have a point. So I'm
Yeah.
going to try eating meat. And I think within about 3 months, it went away after reintroducing chicken. I was always having some fish anyway, but mostly chicken and maybe the odd ground beef every now and then. But since then, it hasn't really come back. I've been playing lots of pickleball.
Hmm.
So, and some tennis. Now it's starting to come back again to a degree, but it's nothing like it was before. Now it feels more like I just got to stretch. Whereas before it was significantly inflamed.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
vegetarian diet for me, I don't think quite works. I think there was some malnourishing elements to the situation.
There was this one guy who went on the carnivore diet that I watched him talk about, and I found him to be very insightful because he said he was a vegan before he went carnivore.
Mm,
And he said when he was on the vegan diet, he would keep getting health issues, especially through his gastral areas. And the doctors kept saying you need to eat more wheat and more fruit because like just to like if for I forget the scientific reason, but or the medical reason for them to say it, but they said that's what you need to do. He kept doing what the doctor said, and he ended up blowing out his. It was either his colon or one area where he then had to get a colostomy bag. So he now had a colostomy bag, and he stayed on the vegan diet. And he said this is what he learned from being vegan and being carnivore with the bag. When he was being vegan, the amount of air that would build up in that bag was so much that sometimes he would have to open up the bag just to let the air out. Once he
mm.
went to carnivore, it was like nothing but a paste going through. It was going through so smoothly because our body like and this is what this guy said. This is just from my own research. I don't know. I didn't look further into it other than what this guy says, okay? But he said our bodies are more built to be carnivores than they are built to be omnivores or to be herbivores. And people say we're omnivores, and in a lot of ways we are. I'm not saying we aren't because we can eat whatever we want. But at the same time, our body's composition is built more like a carnivore's than it is built like an omnivore's. I keep saying omnivore, than a herbivore's.
Mm.
Because like most herbivores have like multiple stomachs to like break down the plant matter, whereas we don't. And yeah, so he said through just having his bag on the outside, seeing his food go through him, he was able to say that vegetables is very interesting because although they do, and that doesn't take away the nutritional value of vegetables in any way, because there is a value to it. I'm not, and this is me. I'm not anti-vegetable, anti-fruit. I love both. I think they're both very healthy and have a place. However, I think they're being pushed a lot more right now than meat, and I think, and I from now just eight from my 8 days of experience, I do feel such a difference with just meat. But I also can't really state anything full factually just yet because the amount of mental fog I have had throughout the last few days have been interesting. But I do believe that is me burning off sugar addiction because
Mm.
there were days where I would have like a piece of cake at the end of each day because I was like I treat myself, and that was my treat. I'd have a piece of cake. I worked a long day out in the sun. I would go buy a sandwich and a piece of cake, and I'd eat the cake. And it's just like, that tastes good, fills up my tummy. But then never felt that great. I'd go to the gym and be like, I'm gonna burn off this piece of cake, and it's like, how counterproductive is that?
Mm.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like I treat myself, but then also try to work it off. So I'm very curious, and interestingly enough, as much as I've been working A lot, like with construction outside and also on a film set in the last week. I haven't been able to get to the gym, so I don't know what the gym is going to be like on the carnivore yet because I haven't been able to get to it. So I'm looking forward to testing that out next.
Well, I mean, I would assume pretty good because your testosterone is going to be going up. You're going to have lots of energy,
Yeah,
and you're going to be able to have a lot of protein for building back all the microfibers from all the hypertrophy. So, not to mention the amount of natural creatine you'll be getting. So, I'm pretty
truth.
sure that's going to be a plus.
I'm looking forward to it, man. That is another one too. You said about your injury with the inflammation. That is the biggest thing that I've heard from so many people is the fact that their inflammation disappears. Like there are
Hmm.
people who had like chronic back issue and it usually takes a couple months, but they say like the inflammation goes away and it stays away. So if that is the case, and it's so interesting because everyone's body's different. We all have different, come from different backstories, different um, genes that have been fed through different various like parts of humanity. That also said, going further and further back, we are all carnivores. We would search out meat and eat meat, and when we couldn't eat meat, we would resort to berries and nuts and stuff off plants and trees just to subside ourselves until we could find the meat. And a lot of times that was only during the seasons when those things would be grown. And back then we weren't planting it and having it year round. So that could also just play into a factor. It could be the fact we need to almost like eat certain things at certain seasons. It's a
Hmm.
possibility, just a thought. I don't have any
Mm-hmm,
real
mm-hmm.
backing towards it, but it's an interesting thought.
Well, at the very least, I would say that going strictly meat as a diet for a significant period of time, like 30 days, it's going to have its benefits.
Yeah.
Just flat out. There's going to be a time where that's going to be the optimal thing to do to rebalance the body again or to optimize something. Whether or not that would be the maneuver for 3 decades for the optimal health, probably not.
Questionable.
I
Yeah.
feel like there's got to be a lot of other sides of the nutritional spectrum that are going to be lacking in that particular diet. But I feel like there's got to be a place for it,
Yeah.
especially maybe even my circumstance where I've been so somewhat deprived for years and years. Maybe my body is just like craving a lot of the different building blocks that meat will give that you're not going to get from all the legumes and the cheese and the milk and, you know,
Yeah.
the non-meat products.
There is definitely something to because the other thing that I have found through my research is when we say carnivore, because of our modern day diet version of meat, we're only assuming stuff like steaks, bacon, pork, like sausages, right? But within the carnivore diet, where it's like those things that I just listed, it's like, oh, where do you get your vitamins? Where do you get your your certain vitamins and minerals that you need? That's where it's just you have to eat stuff like livers and kidneys and stuff like that too, just like they would have back in the day. There was nutritional value to every part of the animal, right? Like back in the day,
Haggis.
even haggis, true. Like they would even break down the bones and use that as the broth to get like certain minerals. And like I got a chicken broth that I'm gonna give a try, just for drinking because that's one thing you asked early about like how's digestion and stuff. They said that if you had any trouble with it, which I don't think I had thus far other than that first day I shared with you, it says drink chicken broth because then it's still carnivore and it helps push things through because like it's kind of like soup, right? Warm and nutritious and goes down nice.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's yeah. It's been a interesting journey thus far. I still got 22 days left, and we'll see where we land. So I'm sure in a couple weeks on the podcast, I'll be sharing with you my full journey.
Mm. So are you allowed sauces like barbecue sauce and
No,
stuff?
nope, because that all has
That's so
sugar. Yeah,
sad.
it has sugar.
I was like, ah.
I will say already, I've had a few dinners where you know how you can buy just like a pack of ground beef. I
Hmm.
just put that into the pan, I cook it up, and I just eat that. I don't put any sauces. I'd even put salts and stuff on it. Although I should put salt or pepper on it. I'm
Oh
staying
yeah.
away from it. Like I stay away from pepper right now.
Treat
I'm using just
yourself.
salt. treat myself some salt, which is
Get that
also
salt
good.
in there.
And salt's okay. Apparently, like sea salt is okay because it rebalances electrolytes, right? So, but yeah, I'll and like maybe I'm just weird, but I was able to eat that ground beef and be like, I can almost make another pack of this. That was delicious.
Yeah. There's the whole recalibration thing too, where whatever the new norm is, it adapts.
It
And
does.
taste buds and the palate do the exact same thing. After I'm playing a sport for a long time, like pickleball, and I just drink normal water, it is the most satisfying experience.
The
It's just water,
best. The best.
but it's the best.
Yeah.
So good. Doesn't need to be carbonated in that moment. It's just raw water in my
Just is.
face.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, when I went to the keg, because I didn't get the starches and stuff with it, I was like, I usually get the 8 or the 10 ounce. And I was like, bring the 18 ounce. Let's see what that's like. That looked like such a huge slab of meat on my plate. And I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to consume all this, but I did. And there is the kicker for the other thing. Thus far on this diet, I have not once, no matter how much meat I have eaten, because usually I get full before I overindulge in it, which I like. I have not felt bloated. I have not felt like, oh, I put myself into a food coma. That part has been amazing. It feels like it just goes in and it's just done. And I feel I can still move. I can run. I can jump. I can do what I want. Not that I was running and jumping after, other than excitement. Yay, it was a steak.
So what about probiotics? Have you ever looked into that?
Here's here so again, like I was saying to you, I am still doing dairies and such of that nature and yogurts, and I take a daily probiotic. And it is it's a cultured yogurt. And so like that's what I've been taking for a probiotic. I think I have 3 packs of it left, and I'm going to take a break from it. Because again, I want to do more. I want to kind of wean myself into just meat for the last 2 weeks. But I've been taking that yogurt. Like I get a pack of, I think it comes in like 12s, and I've been having that. I have that in the morning, first thing in the morning. That's like almost the first thing that goes in my gut. Is I have so like a pack like this big of yogurt, and yeah, that's usually kind of almost how I start my day. Is a pack of yogurt, and I'll take some vitamin D supplement, some vitamin C supplement, and chug water and coffee, and that's kind of what runs me until dinner throughout my day. It's very rare that I'll eat throughout the day, and I don't feel hungry though. I just don't want to force myself into eating, but I want to put things in my stomach that I feel will help in just energy. And thus, I've been doing that for well over a year, and it's been working just fine for me. Only recently, with the carnivore diet, have I started, and being back on set, have I started to have what you could call a breakfast. And even with a breakfast, all I'm having is like right now, I'll have like 2 to 3 hard boiled eggs with some sea salt and bacon when I'm on set. But again, that's only been within the last 8 days, and I was only on set for maybe 3 of those. So yeah, a lot of bacon.
So
during
other
those
than
days.
that, you'll have some supplements like a protein shake or creatine.
Yeah, just I got it, and I looked like, and the big thing, I think the big thing for me right now too is like I say I'm doing carnivore, and when it comes to getting my meals, it really is that. When it comes to my snacking, I've had basically cheese and like cut up sausages when I can have it or find it. And when it comes to the protein shake, I've looked at the ingredients, and there's no carbohydrates and there's no sugars. So
Well, it's whey protein. I mean,
yeah,
it's an animal product.
exactly. It's a byproduct, animal byproduct, so I can have it. And the creatine, no carbohydrates, no sugars. So honestly, I take creatine just because like I know it's good for the muscles and such, but I don't even know what it's from. I don't know what it's made of. I'm sure I've heard it before. I mean, if you want to engage the listeners into what creatine is, if you know, that'd be cool.
Creatine, yes, it is 3 different amino acids: valine, isoleucine, and leucine. And basically, what it does is it works like a catalytic converter, where when your muscles they burn adenosine triphosphate, the ATP, that turns into ADP as a waste product. And that waste product It's just kind of, getting shuttled out of the cell. But what creatine does, is it takes that ADP and it turns it back into ATP to be used as energy again.
That's
So
fascinating.
it takes, yeah, it takes the exhaust and it turns it back into fuel, a very small portion of it. Another neat thing that it does, it also really hydrates the cell more, so it can get more water in there.
Hmm.
Mostly that's the creatine monohydrate that does that. The other ones are designed so that there is no bloating effect and water retention because most people don't like that.
Hmm.
Personally, I think it's great.
Well, that's good.
But,
Yeah. Tell me why you think it's great for water retention.
well, I just like to be hydrated.
And I figured that would be the case.
And I have a very low body fat percentage. So when the muscle cells get nice and voluminous,
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, no, workouts are working. This is good.
Yeah, you
Getting
are a ripped
stronger.
individual.
Why, thank you.
Indeed.
But yeah, the other thing, have you ever tried any testosterone boosters?
Ooh, I want to say I have back. It would have been years and years ago. Uh, yeah, it would have been just the type of ones that you can just get at a supplement store. I don't think I really even used it to its full effect. Probably. Why? What are your thoughts on it, or have you taken it and such?
Yes. I have experimented with numerous testosterone boosters, and almost all of them are bunk.
All of them are. I would figure that.
Almost.
Oh wait, you
Almost.
said almost. He said almost
Yeah.
everyone.
There is one ingredient that I have found to be effective. And not just me, but also there's only one that the studies really look to verify as an effective testosterone booster. And it's because it doesn't try to cause the body to produce more testosterone. It just takes the testosterone that's already in the bloodstream and makes it bioavailable. So it's
Interesting.
taking what's already there and making it more usable.
Okay.
And it's called Tungcat Ali or Long Jack.
I've definitely heard of that before. I just didn't know that that's what. So it's the testosterone booster that actually works.
Yeah, it's a herb. I think it's somewhere from either the Amazon or Asia is where it's primarily cultivated.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good and it also has numerous other benefits as well. I've noticed energy increase, but that comes with testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
But with testosterone increase also comes a dopamine increase, which is
Mm.
great because then you get that
Always.
drive to continue to pursue whatever, your hopes are and your goals are. And it just, yeah, who doesn't like dopamine?
Oh, it's the
That's why people
best.
take drugs.
It's dope.
Yeah, dopamine's great. Big
Yeah.
fan. But yeah, more energy levels. I do believe there's even digestive benefits. It's a very bitter herb.
Mm.
Um, it may or may not play on the serotonin uptake, but overall well-being is definitely increased, and that could be from just the testosterone and the dopamine alone. But nonetheless, effective. And yeah, helps because as men age after 35, typically, every single year testosterone production goes down. So it gets to a point where it gets pretty unbalanced. Nitric oxide
Mm.
goes down, and yeah, that can be a bit of an issue.
Well, I'm 2 years away, or a year and a half away, so we'll see about that.
Well, with all that beef you're eating, I mean, that
Ah.
alone, yeah, all that saturated fat, that's going to increase your testosterone production.
Oh, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. When it came to that, I wasn't even thinking about the fact of the test boost. I really wanted to just I wanted to rid my body of sugars because I have found I've been working out a lot. I've been trying to get good sleep. I've been doing almost everything right except for diet essentially when it
Mm.
came to it. And it's not that I was horrible with my diet. I liked my sugar fixes and I liked my breads. Again, I think I'm almost trying to justify it. Maybe I was just eating bad because I feel
Mm.
a definite desire for a healthier lifestyle in general, all around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Energy
beautiful.
levels,
And
cognition.
there's a big one, right? The energy level and cognition. I feel both of those just firing at a different cylinder, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
last few days, more so. A little bit of like I said, a little bit of a head fog, a little bit of a fatigue at times, but especially after I eat meat, goes away. Just
Mm.
gone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting. I find it fascinating. I'm very curious once the 30 days hit. Yeah. Ah, to change topics a little bit, have you heard about the new movie out called Horizon?
Say what now?
There's a new movie out called Horizon. It's a Western film starring Kevin Costner. Okay,
No.
it's a good film. I recommend you go see it. It's called Horizon, an American Saga. It's part one of a two-part film that is supposed to be a part of a grander idea that's supposed to be, I believe, like 6 or 8 films, and
Hmm.
it's about the essentially the pioneering era of America. And it's a fascinating, it's a good story. It's good. It feels very true to what the times would be, and it's well acted. A little bit slow in its pacing at times, but it's forgivable because of good acting and dialogue. Yeah. So, you suggested Brian Banks last time, so I suggest Horizon
Oh,
to you.
Brian.
Ah, Brian. Ah, the B boy.
So, is there anything inspiring about Horizon, or what is it that what you like the acting? I mean, for me,
Perseverance. The idea of the
ooh,
perseverance.
interesting.
Yeah, we always come back to just like that. There's, you know what? There's a perseverance of such, like, it's like if this isn't true to life, and also like it's sad. Conflict. That's the other thing too. It's just how conflict is inevitable when it comes to
Hmm.
perseverance of a certain type. Conflict is inevitable, and there were people coming from Europe and everywhere, China, everywhere else in the world, to America because they were trying to escape something that was worse than where they were going to. But where they were going to, they couldn't just have it because there was already the Native Americans who lived here who would fight to the death to keep it.
Hmm.
And there is that perseverance of both sides, one who wants to preserve their way of life and another who wants to build something new because they're escaping something terrible. It's
Hmm.
if that isn't the most, like, it's sad, but so it's hard to even describe a word for it because both sides win and lose. Actually, I can't say both sides win and lose. One side kind of loses. And
Hmm.
that is history. Not to say that they're wiped out, not to say they don't still have their land, not to say there isn't. So the conflict still continues, actually. That's a better way of saying it. The conflict still continues,
Do
but one
you
side definitely just came. And I don't necessarily want to use the word conquered, but they. Because
can you
I.
see a
Yeah.
version?
Hmm?
Can you see a version where they would have both won?
Yes.
What would that look like?
That would be. That would be a two-prong effect because that would be the settlers who came from all over the world. They always make it seem like it was purely Europe, but it was China, it was Asia, it was like parts of Asia, there was parts of South America. Everyone was flooding to America at that time, just a lot of Europeans. More so European. It
Hmm.
was the Europeans that more so built the structure of how America was or is through a Christian perspective for the most part. Nowadays you would never think that in a way because there's so many multiculturals here, which is a beautiful thing. That being said, um, if there was a way for it to have worked, and this is again, this is thinking through a very optimistic mind because there's so many things that conflict with it still, but it would be the settlers coming over and being able to somehow meet with the natives first on a basis of we are coming here escaping something terrible. We wish to live here. We don't want to go back. If anything, we're not going back. But we don't want to disrupt your life either. How can we build our life without disrupting yours? And them working
Interesting.
together in that mindset and that cognitive sense. Because there's two things that would have came from that. And I think part of it did. I think there was a part of a settlement that came here and asked the natives, how do you survive this? Because there was like the temperature and the weather here in North America is unique to like a lot of other places in the world. Like our winters here are harsh. Some of our summers here are even harsher in the desert. Not to say it's like not bad in the Middle East or not bad in like wherever it gets super cold in the north. But there were many settlers who came here, and it was never the natives that got them; it was the elements. But when it came to coming to settle here, I believe there was a way of working together in a way that didn't essentially lead to such destruction. However, that is from the side of the settlers, okay? From the side of the Native Americans, not being Native myself, but being interested in their history and in the tribalness of their past and even to their present, uh, it is ignorant I for anyone to say that they were not a both peaceful tribe, but there were tribes that were exceptionally violent to the point of they were like they all like there was a lot of talk of it's like, oh, the white man came and they destroyed us. They were destroying each other long before we got here, long before
Hmm.
the white man got here. And I don't mean that in the sense of they depleted themselves, but the natives tribes, there were warring factions to a cannibalistic degree and to a horrible degree. And when the white man got here, as they would call it, right, the white skins, the pale skins, when we got here, we just almost sped up a process of, unfortunately, knocking off the wrong natives, because the violent cannibalistic brutality of certain tribes would attack the settlements, and that would then put a reflection of what we assumed all the tribes were. So a lot of the good tribes that were peaceful or lived with nature, lived among like wanting to like actually build that bridge of peace, it got tampered with because of negative tribes. Just as the settlers coming over, the settlers who came and just were like, oh, they're all the same, let's just wipe them out and take over their land, they put a bad taste in the mouths of the good tribes for what the settlers could be. That was I think the so as much as I can say like both sides, it's like if only we could have came together and worked together. I wanna assume, and this is an assumption more than anything, I assume that the wrong tribes and the wrong settlers met the right people first.
Hmm.
So there was a bad taste put in each other's mouths, and whatever peace that could have been brokered, it was destroyed before it would even begin.
Okay, so I guess the common denominator here is simply the people group that craves control.
Yeah.
If they have a certain vision that they think needs to take place and they're going to control the outcome no matter what, they're usually the ones that are causing the problem.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because that makes me think of the definition of love, and one of the sentences is love never demands its own way. And so if a tribe is trying to demand their own way, saying that, hey, you need to get out of here. This is our waterfall. I like this waterfall. I'm going to take it. So leave.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're already showering in it, kind of a thing. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, not very loving. Definitely not. I mean, we can take turns. You want
Yeah.
your turn in the waterfall? Come on in. It's
Mm-hmm.
fun. We'll have a beer after. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Talk
There
about life.
there's options. There's always options,
There's
and
options.
especially back then. Back then, though, even like where we are today is it's interesting to look back because like there's still savagery across our planet. It's just it has a different form.
Mm.
But savagery back then wasn't the same as how we would like we see it as so barbaric, and yet it was just survival back then. Because it didn't matter if like I said, like there were natives, or not just what I said, but what history shows. it wasn't just whites killing natives. There were plenty of natives killing natives, and it wasn't just natives coming and destroying white settlements. There was plenty of other, like white settlements wanting to be like, oh, why does that settlement have that? Let's go kill all those guys, and we'll take over that settlement. You know, like it was like there was so many the Oregon Trail that a lot of pioneers had to take. It wasn't just natives they had to worry about. They had to worry about thieves that were of all races, mainly white, and they would be taken over. There were wagons that were taken over by anyone. And then never mind even humans, there was animals they had to conflict with. North
Mm.
America, North America itself is a savage place, but a beautiful one. And that's why it's so desired. It is something worth fighting for and fighting against. It has everything. There are places in the world where it's one season year round. There's other places where there's scarcity. There's other places where there's nothing but like greenery and forests. But then there's here, North America. We have every season. We have essentially most, if not every animal to a degree. We have all different types of terrain. It's a magical place.
I do quite like it.
Yeah.
It's got mountains, glaciers,
Oh,
blue lakes, blue rivers,
Blue Rivers.
awesome elk,
Yeah.
huge racks,
If huge racks. You've never seen such racks.
9 by 9. Like, what is this? Like Narnia?
It
I don't know. Something special.
is special. And if I'm not mistaken, we have the most fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so much about here that's desired. There's plenty of conspiracy for the future right now that the rest of the world is going to fall into some crazy ruin and everyone is going to be trying to come here because we will have control of all of the resources because we still have ours. Because for the last century, essentially, we have been drilling and pillaging the resources of the world, right? To fund the
Mm.
world and make the world, but we have kind of held off doing anything here. Like, we don't drill too much here. We do, but there's so much oil still here in North America if we wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
There's, again, like we discussed, so much fresh water. It's like we're surrounded by ocean on all sides. It's an amazing feat. I know we're kind of just moving topics, but what a crazy feat. The fact that America, and I'll include Canada within it, and even Mexico, we are a fortress.
Mm.
Like, the attempt to attack or take over this place is near impossible. Other than, like, the idea of breaking it down from the inside out. But even then, it's like you could do that to a certain area and try to do the whole place, but it's so vast. Good luck. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. A fun one.
Yeah. No, it's a good place. I mean, I've been to about maybe 15 countries,
Ooh, can you list them off?
I think. Thailand, Singapore, Sweden, Norway, Spain, Turkey,
You turkey.
a little bit, well, Aruba, Mexico, of course. One place I still want to go to is Samoa and New Zealand. Haven't been there yet.
That Samoa
New
is one
Zealand's
of
very
the
similar.
chains. Oh, my sister lived in New Zealand for a year. Loved it.
Mm.
Yeah, my mom got to visit her. They went on a van trip, and those lucky buggers! They got to visit Hobbiton. They got to go
Mm.
to the set of the Lord of the Rings because they kept the Shire built, so they got to take
Ah,
pictures
yes.
within the Hobbit holes and stuff. Looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
it's very similar to BC. That's why I want to go to Smithers. Smithers is basically a miniature New Zealand
Oh,
of the
really?
South Island.
Interesting.
Blue lakes, big glaciers, big mountains,
And you said
mild weather.
Samoa. You said Samoa. That's by Hawaii, yeah?
South Pacific Islands. It's actually closer to New Zealand.
Is it? Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's just northwest of New Zealand.
Hmm.
Small little island, 80,000 people on it, 40,000 in the capital, Apia. Really nice surf culture, but I think the most interesting part about it is that it's reported to be one of the happiest people groups because they're very connected and they're
Oh,
very community based.
that would be interesting to go see,
Yeah,
to
English speaking,
experience. English, that makes it easy.
27 degrees all year round. Great surfing, lush rainforest,
How could you
great
not be
mountains.
happy?
Yeah,
Let's go to Samoa.
that's where The Rock is from.
Yes, he is. That's right.
I'm
Let's
sure
go
he
to
would
Samoa.
be an advocate for it.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I'm on set with him later this week. I'll ask him.
You should ask him.
Hey, I got my tickets to Samoa. He's like, why is he talking to me? No, he seems really. He's an interesting guy on set. Very focused, but at times you can see there's a kid in there, which is always fun to see.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Likes to play.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. You can tell he loves what he does, which is always a big thing. Yeah.
Mm.
But walks around with an entourage, which is also interesting. Very high profile guy, you know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting to see someone of walk around where it's just like they're not armed, but it's like, yeah, you got bodyguards essentially just walking around, watching, making sure things are okay. Which again makes
Ah,
sense.
yes.
Like when you're on set, I was because one of my people I was working with is like, man, isn't it crazy how many people he has around him? And this is how I look at it. It's like it's a hundreds of $1 million production. He's the star, and although this is a closed set, there's no real security. People could just walk in and like walk up to him, as we know from movie sets, right? It's happened
Mm-hmm.
before. So it's like you got your star, which is you could say is the biggest star in the world. So it's like yeah, him to have kind of people protecting the asset makes a little bit of sense, right?
Ah, yeah. Gotta
Yeah,
have bodyguards.
yeah, just a sense, just a thought. Uh, yeah. uh,
So, what would you say? What's a good balance for you? Like, you're back on set again. You're
oh,
working on your own projects. Like, what are the elements that you've recognized that makes the optimized KG3 when it comes to just your overall balance? What are your pillars that you found are the most important?
staying focused, staying busy, and just needing to be in that state of enjoyment,
Mm,
needing that balance. And I can tell it can be to the detriment of others, but never in a way that is malicious. Of course, my boss in construction would like me to give my time fully to his pursuits. Of course. My casting director, who I now work with, he of course sends me sets I could work on, and I say no, I don't want to work on that. And of course, he has other people he can go to, just as my construction boss has other people he can like get to go fill in the day. But you can tell it's like oh, but you're one of our assets. We want you to be the one to go. So it's knowing that even through maybe slight disappointment, momentary disappointment, I'm still doing what I need to do for my own sake. Through out of a healthy selfishness. I think that is the best way I can put it right now because I can't think of another way of saying it. Healthy selfishness is the best balance I am able to find right now
mm.
because I'm
So
doing
by
it for
that,
myself. Yes.
you're basically honoring what's in your heart,
Yes.
where you're recognizing that there's a significant vision and a trajectory that's calling you.
That's right.
And at the same time, you don't want to let other people down, but at the same time, you got to stay honorable and true to what is inside of you that's calling you forward.
That's right.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm sure you're still like being courteous
Every time.
and not leaving out your ex-employer to dry, and you're
Never.
able to help facilitate a transition or fill the gaps at times.
There are days like last week. Like I worked on set from Monday through Wednesday on the Dwayne Johnson movie. And again, because it's like it's a Dwayne Johnson movie, I'm not going to turn that opportunity down just because like, and it's like, and Benny Safdie, who is probably one of the bigger up and coming directors of our time, of our era. He's the director, and watching him work as a independent director myself, wanting to get to his level or seeing myself at his level when the time comes is fascinating to watch. He is a what an energetic and passionate individual he is to watch work. So I was not going to turn down these opportunities to network because I was one thing I was lucky enough to do is at the last day was go up to both the DP and to Benny, who's the director, and shake their hands and say thank you so much for the opportunity. And they both reacted so lovingly. They're like, "Oh, of course, it was great having you. Like, nice to meet you." And then I got asked back this week. So I feel like there's a connection with that, where it's like I like introduced myself and said thank you so much, and they were kind enough to be like, yeah, no, we want him back to be standing again. So it's like that's nice. However, to go back to what you said about not leaving my construction boss out to dry. So on Monday, crew call was 2:30 p.m. On Tuesday, it was 1:30 p.m. And on the Wednesday, it was 3:30 p.m. All over the place. And so I went in on Monday. I told my boss on Monday and said, "Hey, I don't start until 1:30. I'll be there for 7:30." From 7:30 till 1 p.m. because I was lucky enough that set was only 10 minutes away from where my construction site was. So for the first 5.5 hours of the day, I was on the construction site. And then I went to film.
Mm.
I worked 8 hours because it was a shorter day. It was 9 hours with lunch. And then I went home. I slept. I got my call times. They said it was 1:30. I said, "Boss, for construction, I'll be there at 8 because I need some sleep. And I'll be there at 8 a.m. and I'll work from 8 till 12:30 because we're at the same location." So that's what I did. I went and worked for another 4.5, 5 hours on the Tuesday. So I'm still giving him time, even to the detriment of my sleep, because that day on set ended up being a 12-hour day. So a longer day.
Wow.
So that was a long day for me. I didn't get home until must have been one like probably about yeah, it was 2:30 in the morning that I got home. I got home at 2:30 in the morning. I went to bed. I still woke up at 7:30 and got to work for 9 so I could work with them from 9 until 2 ironically until 2 p.m. I could have worked a little longer, but the only reason I didn't was because it started to torrential rain and we actually had to close up anyway. So I was actually still able to give my construction boss a full day. Maybe minus an hour that I could have been in the morning, but I needed the sleep. So I still
Hmm.
went in, still did work, still helped out. And then I went to set from 3:30 and I did for 3:30 p.m. and I didn't get home and in bed until 4:30 a.m. And my boss was like, "Can you be on site for 8 a.m. on Thursday?" And this is what happened. I got home at 4:30 a.m. I went to bed. I woke up at 7:30, said, "No." I went back to bed for a couple hours, woke up, and I got to the job site for 10 a.m. As I was driving to the job site for 10 a.m., it was about 9:45. I was like, yeah, like 10:15 away. My boss calls me and says, "Hey, are you on site?" And I said, "I didn't get done till 4:30 a.m. last night. I slept in a bit because I needed the sleep, but I'm almost there now." And his reaction was, "Oh my God, and you're still, thank you for still going in. You got till 4:30? How was it?" And I shared with him the experience of that day because it was a very stunt heavy day. It was very cool watching The Rock do all these wrestling moves with Igor, not Igor, maybe it is Igor. Whoever is the heavyweight boxing champion of the world right now, that's who he's fighting in the movie. The actual heavyweight boxing champion. So it's just like I got to experience this. I got to experience this amazing director direct the biggest action star in the world against the heavyweight boxer in the world. That's a pretty cool day. So I get to watch that. And then, so I'm telling my boss this, and instead of him being like, I told you to be there for 8 a.m., he's like, that's so amazing. That's so cool. Like, what a fun day. And then he's like, how much do you make? And I'm like, and he's just like, and he's like, I don't know. And so, and then I get to a job site, and for the next 10 hours, I gave him 10 hours that day. I do nothing but manual labor, lifting stuff in the rain, lifting just like hundreds of pounds of material, thousands of pounds. I filled this giant bin up with material up and down this hill I had to go to just because of where the deck was. And it was just it was a crazy day. And while I was doing all that, I was looking back on my week and I'm thinking, I'm exhausted right now. I'm so tired. But how happy I am. I feel so good.
Mm.
And also, this was the
Mm.
week that I started the carnivore diet. So, like, I have a lot of things happening to me at once. Yeah, it was really cool. And then the Friday was just on construction, and I gave him another full day, 11 hours of my time. I started, and 11 hours and three separate job sites. And not only did I go from three separate job sites to get done what needed to be done at each site, the third and final one, the guy I was working with, he had put in long hours and he was at a different site and then met me at this one. We weren't able to finish what we were doing. So we both decided, you know what? Instead of pushing ourselves right now, we're both tired after 11 hours. Let's meet tomorrow morning on the Saturday. So we both came in on a Saturday for 3 hours to finish off vinyling this deck. So we called the boss and we said, we're going to come in tomorrow to finish this off. And again, he goes, thank you so much for just doing that.
Mm.
Because we don't have to. We don't get paid extra to come in on weekends. That's just how our job is. We could easily just say, we'll get it done next week. No, we're not going to do it. But we're like, no, we'll do it. And that's just how I kind of pay back and show that I do appreciate
Flexibility.
the flexibility that I know he doesn't want me to have, but he accepts. He accepts it. And I'll even go as far as say he respects it.
Mm.
Yeah, which makes me
Well, he
want to
probably
respect him
likes you
back.
too.
He does. Yeah, no,
He
we have a
probably
very good
he
rapport.
wants you to have a great life.
Yeah, yeah, we have a great
He wouldn't
rapport.
want to take away.
And that is exactly it. He has we texted one time when I told him that I was starting to take more set days, and he's like, this is starting to interfere with like what we're doing, like, and like I need you full time. And I said to him, I was like, I understand that and I don't want to leave you guys, but I need to do what's best for me. And this is film is my passion and I will be putting film first, but I don't want to leave working with you guys, and I'll make it work whenever I can. And yeah, he responded very positively and respectfully.
Yeah, and just given that caveat too, like if you ended up being full time on film, he would be able to have ample amount of time to get another worker,
I would
so
say so.
it wouldn't make the business suffer.
No, I wouldn't think so. And I also like to I love doing I love everything that I've been taught through him. Like I love the
Mm.
fact that I'm able to now build a deck all on my own, and I could vinyl it. I could put composite boards down and like make it exactly as needed. That's a valuable skill that is just
Hmm.
fun to be able to do. And even if I decided or I get an opportunity to do film full time, where it's Monday to Friday, right? I would still say to him, I know it's not optimal, but if you want me to work on the weekends, if on week, it's like there will be the odd weekend where I'm like, no, I need time off, but I would love to still stay in contact and stay working because I also like to keep busy. That's the biggest thing
Mm.
right now. I like being busy. I enjoy my downtime. I do, but I am in a mode right now of wanting to stay busy. I feel that is the best thing for me because when I'm not busy, it's not that I'm bad for it, like nowhere near I was in my 20s, but like I feel like I get into a little bit of degeneracy, not in anything excessive, but like I might just drink too much or something, and it's just like I just don't feel like that anymore. I don't feel
Mm.
that
Hmm.
pull towards that type of stuff anymore. I feel a pull towards leveling up. There was I
Mm,
forget who I was talking about it with, but I love the video game type style of things where assume, and this is, I mean this in a, and I want to say this in a positive way, and it's even what God wants. It's in a Christian way. Life is a video game, and you gotta level up. You gotta level up, man. Like we all, that's where
I,
we do all start the same, and then you level up as you go.
right.
Yeah,
I think I remember talking about this with you
we might have, yeah.
because it's that concept of if we stay stagnant for too long, it just doesn't feel good, and that's
Yeah,
intentional.
yeah,
But then something happens. Maybe we watch a movie, or maybe something happens in one of our friends or family's life, and it's just like, wow, that's inspiring. And all of a sudden, you feel something on the inside, a passion to go and do something. That passion is going to drive us into doing that thing because we compare that to what we could do as an alternative. That didn't feel good. This could feel quite good. Where am I going to go?
yeah.
To where it's going to feel good. So eventually that inspiration starts to swell up and boom, person starts leveling up again. But you know what? I think there's cycles. I think there's cycles that we all need to go through to experience both sides of the river.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, well, in my mind, it's completely predictable. It's not predictable to us, but if we could stand outside of the matrix and just see like what we're all energetically storing on the inside of us, all the different desires that we have, our value systems as to what we think is important, it would be very predictable as to what we're going to be doing and choosing in any given circumstance because we'll be able to see the amount of charge of a desire for a certain thing or a certain fear about a certain thing. Either way, it's just energies playing out. But I like those moments where you get to that point in life where you say, oh man, I got too much free time. I'm just doing nothing. I feel so disconnected and uninspired, unenthused. And then something happens, whether it's a dream or an idea just comes into the mind, which I also don't think is random because
Mm-hmm.
that idea could just trigger what's ever on the inside of us. And then, boom, what does that result in? Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So then that person is now called into going after whatever they're designed to go after. And it's going to happen. And those level ups, I think that's a big part of it. It's kind of like when you look at charts, price charts, there's cycles. And those pullbacks in an uptrend are actually essential to keep that uptrend going.
That's right.
Otherwise, it can't just keep on going straight up. It has to do a nice run, a nice ABC correction, or whatever the actual correction pattern is. But either way, there has to be a correction so that it can then muster up that energy again to go even higher. And I think we do the exact same thing, leveling up, bursting
That's
through
right.
resistance, finding new support, continuing the path.
And it tests your resilience.
Mm,
It tests like how much do you want this path to continue? Cause yeah, cause you can be like this, get pushed down, and they'll take you higher. And then there's ones where it's like it could push you down, and now you're there, and you'll stay there because you're almost like, oh, I guess I wasn't made for there. Instead
mm-hmm.
of saying, ooh, okay, how do I overcome? Ah, like it's just that and there comes the effect of learning, of never failing but always learning. Oh,
Yeah, that's inevitable. I mean, that's really what I think it's all about. I mean, I see this experience very much as we're taking in information at all times. Every single second, we are taking in new information through experience that we've never had before. It could be similar experience, but either way, it's still unique
mm-hmm.
to whatever our previous moments were. And that information is being stored in our minds. And so that by default is causing our minds to learn, whether we're aware of it or not. But we are always learning because we're always taking in information. And then that's always being segregated into what we deem as important and what's not important. And that
Yeah,
changes and calibrates our attention as to where we're going to be putting our focus in the future for any given moment. But it's always changing, it's always shifting because we're always taking in information. Just like how a stem cell is always reading its environment, taking in the information of what its environment is, and then transforming according to its environment. We're doing the exact same thing on a psychological and a spiritual level. We're always conforming and transforming from what our informational environment is that we're taking in and processing. It's how we process it that makes the biggest difference as to what we transform into, how we take the experience, perspective. So that makes me think, KG3, when I say, what is the optimal perspective when it comes to having a positive attitude for any human? Is there anything that comes to mind? Like, how would you describe a, the most beneficial perspective that we could have?
Excitement.
Oh,
Excitement and
excitement.
excitement
Ah,
and knowing that fear is excitement through a scared lens. And excitement
interesting.
is and fear, yeah, and excitement is fear through a intrigued lens. Because we're feeling I'd say it's almost the fight and flight right there, right? So it's like excitement. Be excited about everything. Even in moments of,
Mm,
because like even in moments of fear, look at being chased by a wild animal. That's still adrenaline going through you. You know, it's still adrenaline going through you. You see, you see fireworks. You get excited from all the experience of it. That's the adrenaline going through you. It's still the same thing going through. It's what you use it for. I'd say excitement. There's time for fear, but it's not to ever be used as something detrimental. I'm excited just talking about it.
so is there,
Yeah.
like, let's say you've been stacking planks for the last 8 hours and you're not really even building anything. You just keep on stacking these planks. You're in the rain. It's plus 5 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Your fingers are kind of cold. Is there
Oh, they're
anything that you
clammy.
could, would you say that you're able to have an excited perspective in those moments? Is there a way to perceive it that would
Yes.
get you that excited feeling?
I'll tell you what it is for myself. In any moment, because I feel it. And it happens quite often when I'm doing these arduous tasks and I'm going, oh, I'm either bored or I'm tired or I don't want to do it anymore. I then switch it up going, but this is a free workout I'm getting paid for. It's not even free. I'm getting paid to do this. I'm building muscle right now. I'm actually optimizing my body. And what's interesting is when I start to think that way, I find my body starts to almost like, it almost feels like everything starts to activate in a different way where it's almost like, yeah, if this is a workout, make sure your form's right, you know?
Hmm.
And so like now I'm tossing things or stacking things and placing things in a way that is like, okay, it's like, where do you feel this as I'm doing it? It's like, so I'm engaging my core right now. I'm engaging my thighs right now. I'm engaging my arms, you know? That is how I get through those days. And
So you're
yeah,
looking for the win. You're looking for the value.
yeah. And there's value
Where's the
in
gain?
everything. Yeah, 100%.
And I
100%.
like the excitement because that's gonna, by default, put you into the moment where you're fully engaged and fully present.
Yes.
So if you're fully engaged and you're fully present and you're constantly searching for where the value is within the experience, that sounds like a pretty bulletproof perspective because you're always looking for where the win is, where the gain is, and you're always being aware of what's happening in every second. So it's like doing life intentionally. You're doing it on purpose.
Ooh, I
You're
like
not just
that.
existing.
I like that. Doing life intentionally. That's a beautiful statement right there. That's really good. I like that.
Mm.
I'm going to put that up on the screen. Doing life intentionally.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good perspective. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Hmm.
I'd say that's a pretty good filtering system and locating system because you're also constantly locating where the win is, where the
Hmm.
gain is, where the value is. It's like you're like a little gold processing machine and you're sifting through all the different gravel of your environment and you're getting down to the nitty-gritty black sand just to find where the gold is. But you're always looking for the gold and the gold is always there. It's
It's
just
always there.
some pay dirt is richer than others.
That's right.
Just like some environments are easier to find the value than others, but there's always value.
That's right.
You find it, you get the gain.
Hmm. There's always the story of the guy who went out digging for gold in the riverbanks, and he dug for days and days and days, couldn't find anything, and he was about to go for one more day, and he says, "You know what? Forget it." And he drops his pick and axe, and then someone just comes randomly with the pick, sees the pick and axe, and is like, "Oh," and just starts hitting the ground for no reason. Boom! There's a gold nugget. You stopped before your time, even though you
So
said,
classic.
right? Even though he was like, "I have one more day," but then decided to give up.
Yeah.
Those I find are the biggest transitionary periods. Is the days where you feel like you don't want to do it anymore, is the day you should do it the most. And with the
That's when
most
you know you're
excitement.
super close.
Exactly. That's when you gotta
That's
do it with
the
the most
telltale
excitement.
sign,
Yep.
the indicator that
That's
it's right
right.
there.
Yep.
Just like the diamond mine that the guy spent 5 years on his entire life savings, didn't find any diamonds, and he sold it for almost nothing. And he was only 3 feet away from actually striking the mother lode.
There it is.
Victoria's Secret, exact same thing. I think the original creator of that company sold it for about $50,000. Now it's multi millions.
50,000. That's
Something
peanuts.
like that. Something extraordinarily low,
Yeah.
but same concept.
Absolutely.
The
I'm
11th hour moment.
the 11th hour moment. Beautiful moment.
You know, it's just like hiking. I'm sure you've been on these. I think we've even experienced it together where, like, be hiking and all of a sudden the trees start to thin out
Mm.
and you see the bench and you're pretty sure that that's the top. And then we get there, not the top. But you see another bench. I'm like, okay, well, that's definitely the top. That's also not the top. Okay, well, come on. I mean, that bench, that's the top. I can see the cliffs. I can see the jagged nature of it. That's definitely the top. That's not the top either. All you can see is what you can see. But then once you get there, you can see more and discover the actual truth of the scenario. But eventually, you do reach the top of the mountain if you keep on climbing those benches.
That's right. Yeah, those benches are there if that's where you want to stay, but they're also indicators that there's more to come.
Mm.
More to come if you want
We
to
still
keep
gotta,
moving.
yeah, we still gotta climb Golden Ears, by the way.
Yes, yeah, we do. I was actually just there
End of August.
yesterday. Excellent. Is that when you're planning to come here now? Is end of
I'll
August?
be here. Yeah, I'll be
Excellent.
there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. um, we were just there yesterday. We went to the beach. Yeah, the that's by the Golden Ears Park,
Mm.
and such beautiful scenery. Yeah, it's just so beautiful there. Yeah, bit of a rocky beach, but still nice.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah.
I find it very fascinating that I can go to Mexico,
Mhm.
stay in the highest luxurious marble ridden penthouses with 2-story tall glass sliding doors
Yeah.
with a balcony that's got a foot pool and overlooks an incredible river with a beautiful golf course. And when I first see that, I'm in awe. It's like, wow, this place is incredible. 3 days later, it's just another place. It's just a place that has air conditioning and a nice warm shower. But you know what? With mountains, that doesn't happen to me. I don't just adapt to a new standard. They blow me away every single day. Even the ones in Vancouver.
I have
For
to agree.
14 years, I love looking at them every single day. I do not get tired of them.
I have to agree. There's
Yeah,
never a time
funny.
I'm looking at mountains that I'm not in awe. That's right.
Yeah, so why is it that we get a norm with, standard of quality of life when it comes to our buildings and stuff like that, our houses, our homes, and our diet, our cars, transportation, all of that becomes a new norm, a new standard. But when it comes to the stuff like nature, just looking at a nice glacier, a nice mountain, a nice blue lake, listening to loons and watching different wildlife just kind of do their thing, why is that so captivating at all times? That doesn't become a new standard.
My theory.
Hit me.
The difference between the two would be when you are in a man-made structure looking out at man-made landscapes, not to say or morphed landscapes by man, like the golf course, and this amazingly built, perfect house there's a dopamine hit where your ego is saying, look at where I am, look at what someone built, and I am now inside it. I get to be here and experience this amazing architecture and structure.
Mm.
Whereas with nature, it's such a humbling experience every time because it's so beyond us. It is something that is around us at all times, is will outlast us at all times, and is made by something much grander than the human mind could ever think of.
Mm. Okay, so it's designed to humble us.
I believe so. Because I feel humbled whenever I look out into nature because it's
Yeah,
so
not
vastly gorgeous. And like you said, every time
right.
I look at it, it's a new experience. And I could look at the same mountain for like 10 days in a row and I'll never get tired of it. Whereas,
Mm.
like a like you see, yours is a great example, and yours is a lot more luxurious sounding than my apartment. When I first saw this apartment, I was happy to be in here, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, look where I am, look what I got now. It took a week for me to just be like, and now this is just a place I live in. Here's my human cage.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go into nature, it's free. I think that's the other thing
Mm.
too. There's a sense of freedom. It's anything made by man, housewise, and this is me being very almost cheeky about it. It's like, wow, look at the cage I built for myself. Look at the this is my safe cave. Cool. I made or like I whether I built it or rented it, whatever. It's just like, yeah, this is my space. Me, mine, yeah. You go into nature and it's like we all get to be a part of this. This
Mm.
is for all of us. This
Mm.
is all of us. This is where we came from. And we may be attempting to a degree to disconnect from it, but all you have to do is step out into it and you are there again. You are once again a part of it. Whereas with the house, it's almost like every time you re engage with it, it gets a little bit more and more claustrophobic.
Mm.
And not to say it has to be. And that's also me being, that's me looking at it from a certain lens. I don't think that's necessarily even true to myself as I speak that, right? But I feel like if you want to compare the two, the reason nature is always awe-inspiring and the reason a house loses its luxury, its like allure, I think that is more why.
Hmm. Interesting. I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nature humbles because God humbles.
Mm. I do believe that that is part of the point
Mm-hmm.
of the human existence is to carve into us an attitude of humility.
Yes, yeah, I would have to agree.
It feels good. It just feels good to adopt a humble attitude.
It's it's so necessary for just peace, to have peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
peace of heart, peace of soul. Being humble is the most it's the most underrated asset we all have.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I also find it very interesting too that when people that are relatively famous, but they have a humble nature about them, we gravitate toward it. We
Yeah.
find it inspiring. We find it like, oh yeah, great person.
Mm.
That is also a very interesting data point to me that we seem to be so attracted to a person who is humble in nature, but are given every reason in the world to be arrogant and entitled.
There it is. You just spoke it. It's because we all know because I think we've all gone through it, and I shouldn't say all, but I think the vast majority have gone through it, even on a small degree. We don't have to be famous to be given something that feels a little, we'll say, luxurious or a little more out of our norm and become arrogant with it.
Hmm.
We've all seen the type of person who it's like they get their new car and they're like, hey, look at this. Look at me. Look what I got. Like, it's just like, and we're all like, yeah, cool car. Thanks, dude. Yeah, okay. But then there's the guy who's like, hey guys, check this out. Do you want to take a ride? I would love for you to experience this with me. Check it out. And we're like, yeah, that's a great car. Let's check it out. And we get in. Wow, this is cool. And he's like, right? Yeah, you want to take the wheel? You want to try it? There's a difference. between the
Hmm.
guy that between yeah, humbly accepting what is both earned luck and perseverance and sharing it.
So here's an interesting element that just came to me. What if part of our perspective was seeing life as a constant series of gifts that come into our lives through experience, and every single beneficial trait that we have, everything that's good inside of us, is also just something that was gifted to us. So every good experience, every good aspect about who we are is not something that we have intentionally willed into our lives, but is something that has been gifted to us. Would that help with an attitude of humility versus entitlement?
If you choose to accept it as a gift, yes. Yeah, if you see the gift as a gift, yes. If you see it as something that you're owed, not so much. Like it's just like
Mm-hmm.
no, it's like I deserve this instead of
Mm.
being like thank you for this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're grateful for it, I think yes, it will make you stay humble and it will make people want to gravitate towards you. If you come at it with I deserve this. Yeah, and you because then you don't see it as a gift, you see it as like yeah, like as just what is owed to you. I don't think it's nearly as enticing to want to be around in any way. And even the
Mm-hmm.
person who is accepting it that way, it's like, oh, this is what I'm owed. You're not seeing the value in it because you're above it.
Right.
Yeah, you see yourself as above it, which actually only lowers you in the sense of everyone around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be one extra element that I'd like to adapt to our little perspective model that we've developed or had
yeah,
developed through us in this conversation. Being excited about the moment,
yeah.
so fully engaged, looking for the value
Hmm.
at all times, and seeing that value as something that's gifted to us as opposed to us making it happen.
That's a beautiful model.
Mm,
I think
yeah,
that's
I'd
a
like
that's
to
a good
exist in that.
structure, right? Yeah, I
It's
think that's
pretty
a good model.
bulletproof. I mean, I don't feel like there's a lot of holes there because it can apply to pretty much any circumstance, even ones that are seemingly very unfavorable.
Yes,
5 degrees, cold outside, raining. But you know what? You're working those muscles. You're
that's
getting
right.
jacked.
I'm getting
You're building
jacked.
up those microfibers. You're getting your testosterone up there.
Right, and
And you're making money.
exactly. I'm getting paid to work out, and let's just be real. As men, who doesn't like just picking something up and tossing it around? Yeah. Rah! Destruction.
Yeah, and it's all a gift.
It's all a gift.
Your face is a gift.
Your voice is a gift. And this conversation has been a gift, my friend.
KG3.
LA5, do you feel this is a good way to end it?
I, it's perfect. It's a perfect landing. That's a nice and soft field landing. A little bit of power at the very end to soften the touchdown, and now the nose wheel is just coming beautifully.
You
Full flaps are coming up,
full flaps.
and apply brakes.
LA5, you enjoy your evening.
KG3. I will talk to
LA5.
you soon.
Oh, and one last thing. Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day. I'm gonna go drink some more maple syrup.
Enjoy that maple syrup. I'm gonna go eat some meat.
Oh, I will. I like that.
Cheers, buddy.